What's up, race fans? It's 7 o'clock. It's Thursday, and it's time for the Thursday Night Throttle live on Top Row Racing Media, presented by ELH Detailing and Federated Auto Parts. This is your look ahead to the weekend events in the Top Row Racing network of tracks and your look around Michiana Motorsports. My name is Buju, live from South Bend, Indiana, sometimes a race car driver, very soon a race car driver, host of the Bullring Chronicles, host of the Monday Night Rewind, and host of the Thursday Night Throttle live on Top Row Racing Media. Louis, I love the intro. I was grooving in my seat over here.
Yeah, that was so that no, I'm going to go back to this layout. I kind of like that layout with the background right now, but especially since we'll be bringing Leah and Timmy on soon, we'll just leave it there. But that I did for M40, so I kind of, I had a little extra time last week, and I thought with the Merle Classic, I thought let's do something a little different. Let's build something a little different. So I decided to literally not rip apart, but create a whole new graphics package, a whole new entrance, just to kind of match it. So I used Bristol and Nashville from CBS, or is it ABC? I think it's CBS, and TNN and a couple others. So I tried to match the graphics as close as possible. The fonts and everything are identical.
Yeah.
Thanks to Andy Lynn, she gave me a bunch of websites that I could use to get like fonts and all that. So I was able to find them and match them. But I thought, let's do something a little different. Let's do a little retro logo. Let's go all in. So the music is pretty similar to what you'd have heard on ESPN at the time.
Yeah, it feels very retro sports broadcast. Like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, like WrestleMania 3 is what I thought of when I saw the graphics.
Yep.
So
I haven't heard feedback on whether people actually like the graphics or anything like that.
I love that. I thought it was 10 out of 10. I mean, for what you were going for, I think you knocked it out of the park.
Well, I definitely think, because like I said, I knew Frank because I showed him what they were going to look like and everything, and he thought that was going to be pretty cool. But from anyone who watched, I haven't heard, So I was like, well, no one said it was crap. So I'm like, I guess no. It's almost like if you don't get any news, it's like no news is good news, right? So I'm like,
nobody said what was that.
No, nobody took a big crap on it. So, but then now we'll go from a retro theme to for those who've watched the Thursday Night Throttle, you kind of know with the Monday Night Rewind, kind of right. Like we saw the graphics for so long, and I'm like, I'm kind of tired of this. I'm going to make a new whole thing. So now this is our first segment is the Pit Lane Press. So this is where you and I get to talk. So we'll be the Pit Lane Press, and every segment tonight has a new name, new look, new feel, new everything. So this is kind of like our Thursday feel. So we'll see what people think of the new graphics and everything. But I thought make it a little different. I got tired of looking at the red and black.
I like it. We're living in the laser land.
Well, yeah, that's why I thought, well, I'll leave the background now because it kind of gives a hint to everything else. Yeah. But that's where we have, for anyone watching, we'll have a lot of tickets to give away tonight. So we do have Timmy and Leah who are sitting in the staging area already. We'll bring them on here in just about a minute or two. And then for Jew Jack, we have a wheel and everything that will be spinning 2 wheels for those tickets. So certainly anyone who signed up for Kalamazoo tickets, there's a family 4-pack that's being awarded tonight on the show. And there's 2 adult general admission tickets to Kalamazoo also being awarded on tonight's show. And then for Leah, she's going to do the drawing for all their ticket packages as well, too. So there's some family 4-packs, adult general admission. So we have a lot of tickets that we're giving away tonight. Part of that being a part of the BARF campaign. So if anyone missed it, there's now a new T-shirt that says "I barf a lot" on the Top Row Racing Media store, and it's $20 to start, and obviously some sizes go up in pricing, but $20. But if you buy one of those shirts, you get the sticker free. So it's basically like paying $10 for the shirt because the sticker's $10. So it's basically like you're spending $20 for $30 worth of merch. So, but you kind of cut that in half, right? So, So that's definitely take advantage.
Yeah, not only should you barf, but now you can wear the barf.
You can wear the barf, and it doesn't. Well, and as I was designing it and everything, I'm like, "Ooh, do I have like a checkered flag, like a emoji, like barfing a checkered flag or something like that? Might be a little too far right now." But graphic tees are a thing. Like people love graphic tees. So, it's like Spencer's, right? Like all these things are going out of style, but not the graphic tees themselves. So I thought, nah, that might be a little now, but I haven't not done it yet. So,
Yeah. Not ruled out.
but anyway, so if you're ready, one thing I do want to bring up is, so we'll be doing this in just a little bit, but we do have a driver spotlight that we'll be doing as part of the show tonight. So, and it's sponsored by Sabrina Beebe Photography, the official photographer of the Galesburg Speedway, and she helps me and her boyfriend Peter tremendously at Kalamazoo with the onboard camera program, because it's just not mathematically possible. And it's not mathematically possible for me to get off the roof and do all the things in time and not be trapped down in the bottom area. So we will be naming our driver spotlight in just a few minutes, or not a few minutes, but a little bit later tonight. But that's where, if you want to nominate someone driver of the week each Thursday, except next Thursday, because Buju and I will be at the Hartford Speedway for the World of Outlaws. But otherwise, so the following Thursday, we'll do, a couple spotlights, but driver of the week. So each Thursday, we will spotlight the Top Row Racing Media driver of the week. Email us, so me, the driver nominations with helpful information that we can read with the spotlight shout out, and it's open to any track. So that's media@toprowracingmedia.com. So again, we'll be announcing that in just a little bit. And then another thing before we bring on Leah, and then I'll click her in after this, for the pit box. So we have driver spotlight and then our pit box. So in the pit box, this is where I want you to send us questions or in a short video format, or topics you'd like us to discuss. So like when Leah and I were talking about earlier, they have a new food vendor at Hartford. And so if you're eating really great food and you want to send us in, hey, race fans, what's your favorite food at the racetrack? That could be a discussion. So this is where, I'd really like to get you guys more interactive, not just in the chat area where you do a tremendous job, but to also, send us the questions. And when you do that you're also sending a video that gives us permission to use that on air as part of the show. So definitely come and help out with that part. I'm pretty excited for that. So again, that's called the Pit Box. And then I see David Howes on here. He was in the hospital for a little bit, but he's part of Beacon Sales and Service. And so he's the official sponsor of our schedule breakdown that we'll do here in just a little bit. So again, well wishes to David. It was great to see that he had pictures at a racetrack. He was in the hospital for so long, a lot of different things going on. So it's good to see that he's doing better. So It's still a long road. But other than that, so sidebar, Buju hadn't seen all the graphics or anything. I kind of surprised him with it. So he's along for the ride a little bit to see all the new things that we're doing. So if you're ready, I know Timmy and Leah are ready. Are you good to bring them on?
Yes, sir.
All right. So our next new segment name is called Promoter's Point. So this is where I hope each Thursday that maybe we can bring on a promoter or an owner to talk about what they're doing, that weekend. So our first person who gets to break this in is going to be Leah and Timmy. So from the Hartford Speedway. So how are you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. We're not melted yet, so that's all good, right?
Yes. Yes.
But other than that, you guys have a big show tomorrow that I know you guys have been working hard on, especially. Hi, Timmy. Especially with the hot weather. So I know you said Tim was already at Hartford, the track, watering and everything. So I know you guys have been busy this week.
Yep, he's been out there a lot, getting lots of water this week because it's so hot. Just getting everything ready, getting everything stocked up, the ice cream and waters, and getting the track itself ready and all the good stuff. Yeah, the fireworks ready, and yep.
So do you want to give a shout out to your fireworks vendor? Because I know they've done a really nice job, and sometimes they rig up your school bus for the Race of Doom with pyrotechnics and everything. So if you want to give them a shout out.
I would love to. Irely Fireworks. I think something maybe happened to their Facebook page because I've been trying to tag them, and I can't find their Facebook page anymore. But Irely Fireworks, they are absolutely amazing. They also do all of our Hartford Speedway clothing for us because they bought Keeping You in Stitches. Anyway, yeah, so they're amazing. They do a great job.
Well, and I know just seeing the couple shows that they've done and then seeing what they do with the school bus, I'm like, they definitely know what they're doing and they seem to have fun doing it too. And when they enjoy it, then that makes it fun, right? Because
Yes.
that, sometimes with fireworks shows, you just never know, right? Like some towns have them spend thousands of dollars and you're kind of like, what was that? That was,
They do a great job. Super, super awesome family. They also come out and help drive the push truck. They bring their own truck and they help push for sprints. I'm sure they'll be doing that tomorrow for us. And yeah, just an awesome family.
Oh, good, good. Well, and I know you guys are really excited for that. And so while we have you on, if you want to remind everyone what you're doing tomorrow, and then if you have any specials that are going on at the concession stand, just to kind of get, before we draw the tickets, right, kind of edge it out just a little bit, right? Like, what's going on at Hartford. So for those who want some dirt track racing and they're not at the Red Bud Nationals, which are going on right now down in Buchanan, where can they enjoy some dirt track racing action? Hartford's the place. So what's going on over at Hartford?
Yep, we have the GLTS non-wing sprints tomorrow, our Super Troopers and Cyber Stocks. The gates open at 5, the pit gates at 4. The general admission tickets for everybody 11 and up is only $12 tomorrow, and kids 6 to 10, $5, and 5 and under are free. And then the fireworks will be after the racing. So as soon as it gets dark and the racing is done, we'll have our fireworks show. And you can bring your own cooler, small cooler. You can bring your alcohol, soft drinks, whatever you want, anything, just no glass, and no outside food. All of our concessions will be open. I had a couple questions about that. So pops. Yes, you can bring pops. You can bring pops, beer, whatever you want, just no glass. Yep. Whatever you like.
And then don't forget the family section in the middle. So
Yes.
if you're doing certain things, just make sure you're not in the family section doing those things. So which includes alcohol, right? No alcohol in the family.
No alcohol or smoking in the family section, which is right in the middle up from the flag stand. Yep. So it's going to be a super fun night. Great racing, some good fireworks, and at a really good price.
Yeah, I mean, again, you guys always put on an incredible show, and it's fast and efficient. So, again, it's just even that includes, tomorrow you'll probably be putting a little bit more water down than usual just because of how hot it is. So, again, that's where, on days like today, think of the track crews at the dirt tracks all around the nation that are doing their best to, keep shows going and put on shows so it's not a dust bowl. Because that takes a lot of work, and we learned from Tim about a month and a half ago or whatever when he was on in May that, I mean, just the thousands and thousands of gallons that are put on that track each week. So on a week like this week, probably a lot more than that. So again, just think of the track prep crew as they're out tomorrow getting the track ready, that it's just as hot for them, and they're in it way more than normal. So other than that, if you are ready and if Timmy is ready, if you would like to, I know you have a couple packages that we're drawing. So we do have in the hat, we put all the names in the hat. So we have the BARF campaign in the hat. We have, you have a family 4-pack. So the 2 family 4-packs, and there was also then 2 adult general admission, correct?
No, I have the 2 family 4-packs. One of those has a $40 food voucher for the main concession.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. He's ready for this.
Okay. All right, Timmy, the show is yours. We'll even go full screen for you guys on this one.
Ready?
If I can find it.
Close your eyes and reach in. Pull out a name. All right.
For the wheel.
For the wheel. Wheel Unfortunate. If anybody watches Dude Perfect. Andy Jack's doing the wheel. We're not cool enough for the wheel. Okay, this is for the big prize of the 4 tickets and the $40 food voucher. Beth Santora. Beth Santora, you are the winner of the 4 free passes and the $40 food voucher in our main concession. Congratulations.
All right, so Beth Santora, that almost sounds like a Galesburg name with the Santora, but
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, but when I hear Santora, I think Galesburg.
All right.
All right, you ready, Timmy?
All right, Timmy's back up.
Whew. All right.
Minister me.
It's going to be you.
Yeah.
You can't win. For free. Rodney Abshigan. Rodney Abshigan. If I said that right, Rodney. You are the winner of the other 4 free passes for tomorrow. Congratulations.
So, yep. So far at this point, we have Beth Santora, who got the $40 food voucher plus the 4 family tickets, and then that was just tickets, and now this next one is just tickets.
Yep, this is the one, the barf tickets from you. Is that funny? It is. All right, close your eyes and reach in. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
The suspense.
It's not gonna be funny.
It's not going to be funny. Oh, Stephanie Dixon. Nice job, Timmy. Stephanie Dixon, you are the barf winner of the 4 free passes. Congratulations. Right. Congrats.
So definitely, and again, that's where this is exciting, an exciting episode, because we get to give away so many tickets. I mean, right there, that's what, 4, 8, 12 tickets to Hartford. That's given away between your 2 giveaways, and then we added 4 more from Top Row, and then with Drew Jacks here in just a little bit, we're giving away 6 tickets, 1 family 4-pack and 2 adults. So again, that's what we hope to do on Thursdays, is to do a little barfing around here and getting some race fans to the track. So again, I definitely appreciate you and Timmy coming on. That's where, as I told you before, Timmy's always welcome to come on. And next Monday, right, we have you back on for the Monday Night Rewind at the top of the hour, where we get to talk World of Outlaws next week. So I know that's where I told Buju, I said, won't be as long tonight with Timmy and Leah, because we have you next Monday, to talk all about your show next Thursday. So I haven't looked at the forecast yet, but hopefully by next Thursday, whatever it is, it won't be this hot. So
I think it's going to be better. And I love the new shirts too, by the way.
Oh yeah, I was excited for that. There's a lot of words that went into that shirt making process, because some of the things weren't doing what I wanted them to do, and I almost gave up on it, to be quite honest. And I said, no, I got to persevere. I tell others to persevere. So I finally got the a lot is what I was struggling with, the font, because I'm like, so I Googled a lot of graphic tees and tried to find a lot of stuff. So I definitely appreciate that, because
yeah, they look awesome.
That's about an hour of my time that I'm like, I almost gave up on. So I'm like, I just need this to look right. So so again, that's where I definitely appreciate you guys coming on. And so we will make sure that I know you'll be posting those names on the Hartford Speedway page. So if anyone missed it, or if you know anyone who has announced, tag them in the show, let them know to contact the Hartford Speedway page. Bring your ID to the gates tomorrow, and they'll go to what is that? The East Gate? No, West Gate.
The West Gate, the White West ticket booth.
Yep, by the pit shack area. So definitely head over there, and that's where you'll pick up the tickets. Have your ID ready to go, so you can get all those. So again, congratulations to all of the winners for the Hartford Speedway tickets.
Congrats. Can I say a quick get well message for David Howe too?
I mean, you're on the promoter's point, so it's kind of your show right now.
Super, super wonderful guy, and I hope you're feeling better, David.
Yeah, he was on. I don't know if he's still on. Hopefully he'll get in the chat, but I know, he sponsored my cameras, my 2 cameras that burned up, one at Kalamazoo, one at Galesburg. He reached out, and I kind of had a feeling why he was reaching out, so I was hesitant. I'm like, I'm kind of stubborn about those sort of things, but he said he wanted to do those. So that's where I know David is such a huge supporter for short track racing in general, wherever that may be.
Guy.
So, so definitely, when he was in the hospital and he was worried about getting me the money for them. And I'm like, you're in the hospital. Like, that's not my worry. My worry is you right now. So, but yeah, he's, an incredible person, an incredible advocate. So yeah, anything else while you're on the promoter's point? Any last words or anything?
I don't think
so. I was in the hospital. I'm sorry.
Timmy's sorry that you're in the hospital. That was very nice, Timmy.
Yeah.
I don't think so. We're just super excited for tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to be a beautiful afternoon and evening, and we're ready to get back to racing. We had a week off. We're ready to race, and we're ready to see some awesome fireworks. But thank you guys so much for
The shoes.
having us on. Yes, we have Timmy and I have some special fun light up shoes.
Ooh, come out for Timmy's shoes on Friday.
Yes. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you.
No, thank you
How
guys.
has the new dirt worked out for you guys in turn 3 and 4? I was wondering.
Good. It is
Good.
very good. Yes. It's really good now. So everybody's happy with it. And yes. Yep.
Good.
So do you think you'll do the whole track at some point with that same dirt then, or not there yet?
I think it's a possibility, but
Okay.
I think that's something that needs to be done in the fall.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
that's a lot of work.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
Oh no, I know the last time we had you on, that's what you guys were working in.
Yeah.
That was before the monster trucks, where you guys were still getting all that dirt in. But I know you've had it a couple weeks now, so that's where I was just.
I think I think it's all good. Everything's great. So yeah.
I haven't seen people talk negative about it like you did at first. So I'm like,
no news is good news. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much, Leah and
thank you
Tim.
guys.
You got to break in the new segment, Promoters Point. So again, I hope to have different promoters on each week, just to kind of give them a 10, 15 minute window to talk about what's coming up the next day and that sort of deal. So, but I know we have plenty that we get to talk with you next Monday about the World of Outlaws. So definitely, already for the Monday Night Rewind, Leah gets to have that first hour to herself. Whether we use it all or not is up to you, but you'll definitely at least have the first little bit. So you ready?
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, good luck with tomorrow.
Thank you guys so much for always including us.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're very welcome.
Yeah, thanks for drawing our names, Timmy.
Just say
Yeah. Thank you so much.
okay, tell them thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So again, that was Timmy and Leah Dibble, and that segment, the Promoters Point, a new segment, was provided by ELH Detailing, our title sponsor of Top Row Racing Media. So again, go and support ELH Detailing. And while we're on it, let's just remember too that if you're looking to get marketing, it is marketing. If you're looking to get your car refreshed and looking like new, they're giving those away. So on July 13th, so in a couple weeks from now, we'll be announcing the first person to receive a free detail, but you must buy one using the code TOPROW. Don't forget to use the code TOPROW. That way you can be entered for that. And so we will be drawing that on July 13th. So someone will get, I think it's each details over a little over $300 in total package. So they're definitely helping us with that. And so also a huge supporter of Matt Kemp Racing. So definitely take advantage. Other than that, like I said, we'll draw Kalamazoo here in a little bit. It's about 7:23. So about 7:30, 7:35, we'll go ahead and do that. But if you're ready, we can dive right into the schedule here.
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, we have this segment brought to you by, as we were just talking about, David Howe, Beacon Sales and Service in Charlotte, Michigan, where they're specializing in certified pre-owned vehicles. So definitely, if you're in the Lansing area, hit up Beacon Sales and Service to see what they can do for you. David Howe and team have been huge supporters of short track racing for many, many, many years. So we went a little light on this part of the schedule just because with the holiday weekend, a lot of tracks are taken off. But Friday, July 3rd at Kalamazoo Speedway, again, we'll draw those tickets here in just a little bit. We have American Night at the Zoo, which starts at 7 p.m. It's National Compacts High School Racing Association makes their debut at the Kalamazoo Speedway. We have Hornets, which if you're New Paris, Corgan Oil, Galesburg, wherever, and you don't want to race with the National Compacts, then you can qualify into the Hornets. I know a couple New Paris drivers are coming up to race there. And then Street Stocks will be racing for $2,000 to win. Both Logan and Austin Maynard have already declared that they will be at the show. And then the MCR Dwarf Cars, which always are bad fast at the Kalamazoo Speedway, will also be on the property. At this current time, MCR Dwarf Cars and the High School Racing Association are the only classes racing heats. So they'll have their heat races, but otherwise National Compacts will have a B feature and A feature, and the Street Stocks will have an A feature, which if anyone knows, even under Donnie Ritter, if you're racing for big money that night, you don't usually get heat races, whether that's at Springport and now at Kalamazoo. So that's not unusual. And then fireworks are going in the air about 10:30. And just remember, that's an ordinance thing. You know, state law says fireworks have to be done by 11. And we don't need the track to get in trouble. So they want to make sure that the fireworks are in the air in time so that there's no issues. So Again, that's just Michigan law. Indiana, I think, has a similar law too, where there's a cutoff. Then over at the Hartford Speedway, again, we were just talking with Leah. So they do have the Great Lakes traditional sprints, and that show starts at 7:30 p.m., which those are the 410 non-wing sprints, Super Troopers, and then Cyber Stocks will be joining them. And then over at the New Paris Speedway, the Independence Day celebration, that starts at 5 p.m., and that's a night of destruction. On Monday night, we had Austin Richardson on, and then we also had Megan Richardson and Jeremy Wardinger were all on the Monday Night Rewind that we went 2 hours talking about the night of destruction. So if you missed it, definitely head on over there. I can already tell you that New Paris has a few new events that they're doing tomorrow. I'm very, very jealous that I get to miss out on them, but
Jeremy found out live on the show Monday that there was a few new events.
Yeah. Well, so it's been pretty secret. It's been under tight wraps. I actually, I think, were you in the tower? Or no, Jeremy was in the tower where I accidentally slipped on one because I thought like others, like I figured the admin would kind of know, or the top people, but Chris is like, and I went, oops. I didn't give it all away, but I gave some of it away. So but luckily I didn't give the main thing away. So so I'm really excited for that. And I can already tell you, I know some of them are on here watching. If things change at Kalamazoo for different reasons, I'm not going to mention the word, but we know there's environmental things going on.
Mother Nature.
If Mother Nature wants to do something at Kalamazoo and things change at Kalamazoo, I will be heading down to New Paris Speedway. So I've already declared that. That way, that night of destruction, this is the biggest one. So there's a backup plan. If one doesn't happen and the other's still going on, I'll be going right instead of left out of my driveway. So just to give you guys a heads up, but that also doesn't mean do like that rain dance sort of deal.
Oh, yeah.
This is Drew Jack's only show at Kalamazoo, so I certainly hope that he's able to get it in.
I also just want to say the National Compacts put on a heck of a feature last Saturday. So it's a race worth going to if you're looking for somewhere to go tomorrow. The National Compacts put on a great show.
Strong roster that he has this year. So
excellent feature on Saturday. Fantastic.
And we have some high schoolers that are coming from Minnesota down over to Kalamazoo. So again, I'd like to, I want to see that show happen, but if things go a different direction and New Paris is still running and others aren't, I'll definitely be going to New Paris. Other than that, on Saturday, July 4th, so America's 250th birthday at the Galesburg Speedway with the tall trophies and all that. So, it's trophy night. That can only mean a few different things. They have the Freedom, and it's a features-only program, and they, too, will have a very large fireworks display. Again, Kalamazoo, Hartford, and New Paris all have fireworks, by the way, as part of their schedule. And then on Saturday at Galesburg, they have fireworks as part of their schedule. So that's the Freedom. They have their limited late model street stocks and front wheel drives. And then down at Shady Hill, which I know you were just on a podcast that talked a little bit about this. That they have their 26th annual Firecracker 50. So I know there's the Good Acres were really excited for this event. So that's UMP modified dirt lane models in 4 cylinders down over at Shady Hill and Mandaryville. So
and from all accounts, sounds like Shady Hill's having a pretty good season down there. So maybe a good opportunity this Saturday if your track is off. As you see, it's a pretty limited schedule in our area. So if you're looking for somewhere to go Saturday, Shady Hill might be an opportunity for you.
Yep. So again, I know I did a schedule light here, but Berlin's racing, Winston's racing, Tri-City Motor Speedway's racing. So there's a couple tracks that are racing in the area. Indianapolis Speedrome has a show going on. So there are things going on, but I thought, kind of stay immediate for now, just in case, with all the conversation going around. With that. So I know on Saturday you get to jump into a car. So I know you're excited for that. You've been teasing that and you get to pretend to be a race car driver again.
That's right.
So I know you said it could be anywhere up to like 90 Hornets.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. It could be somewhere between 25 and 90.
Yeah. So what do you think is a realistic number? You have Galesburg going on. They have big money. Some people travel. So what do you think if you had to put some money on the line, what do you think the ballpark number you'll get?
Well, I think Mother Nature is going to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
But given the location, a realistic guess, I think it probably ends up in the 20. I'm gonna say 28 to 34 range.
Yep. I'll go about 40, just
Yeah.
because New Paris is not racing. So,
Yeah,
some of
that
those
helps.
drivers will head over, and 40 is not racing. So some of those drivers might come
Yeah.
down. But with Galesburg, I think a lot of those M40 drivers will probably go to Galesburg.
Yeah.
So, but it's how it splits and where it splits and who it
Yeah.
splits.
And
So
like I said, the forecast is a
yeah,
factor, and then the
yeah,
heat this week. I know I very much regretted waiting until this week to thrash to get the car ready. I sweat so much in the shop Tuesday and Wednesday after sweating at work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't raced since the Bahama Brackets in October at Grundy. I haven't raced in a Hornet with a stock setup, and I don't know. It feels like forever. So I kind of feel like I forgot how to do this, but I know once you're going in circles, it's kind of
yep.
like riding a bike, they say.
It all comes back to you, right? That's how
Yeah.
it's supposed to go. But yeah, that's where I know you get to jump into a car. You were talking a little bit about that on the podcast you're on, and I know
Mhm.
on last week you teased it a little bit. So, so again, definitely good luck and be safe in
Oh,
the
yeah. Thank
car,
you.
because I know that's something you've been looking forward to. So while we're
It is.
kind of talk about the forecast, if you want to, we can kind of bring in the throttle response now to talk a little bit about that. So this is based on what other tracks do. So I thought, let's see what everyone else thinks. So again, weather will always play a role in any outdoor event, especially racing. We know it. Obviously, social media tells us that all the time. So when a track has no choice but to cancel an event, should tracks add race dates to the schedule to help overcome lost nights, especially for points racing, or is there a more ideal solution? Again, we talked a little bit a few weeks ago about Paynesville, how Paynesville, if they have a rain out, that they'll race on Sundays. And so, they thought that they could do it that way. And I'll count this as kind of like the pit box. So this is where we can talk a little bit, about that. So we talked about what Paynesville would do. And I know like some tracks you kind of alluded to on your other podcasts that you did that, it feels almost like we're going to special shows
Mhm.
more than anything. So, let's say a racetrack, runs 10 points nights and 4 of them get rained out.
Mhm.
What do you think? Should they try to find a way to add something? Does it become a nuance? Like, what do you think?
So to me, if it's just a weekly regular, this is our standard show, I'm not necessarily worried about rescheduling that unless it gets to the point where, like I think of seasons where Kalamazoo's had, where over half the schedule seems like it gets rained out. Then, I mean, I get tacking a few more on the end or squeezing some in the middle and finding some dates there. To me, a weekly show, I'm not trying to reschedule, but obviously your marquee events like a Flagger Boy at New Paris or a
Yeah.
Kalamazoo Clash at Kalamazoo. You're going to want to see those run. So that's obviously a different case. But like I said, it kind of depends on how limited of schedule people are running, and schedules are changing in the climate that we're in now. But I think it becomes a percentage game almost when it comes to weekly racing. It's like I think of the COVID year in 2020 when that first third of the season got chopped off. A lot of tracks were tacking shows on at the end, and
Yep.
that's a fair case, I think.
Well, and I know, and the reason why it made me also think about it too is I know obviously with Corrigan being lost last Friday, that impacted the MCR Dwarf cars who still hadn't, they still haven't raced a
Mhm.
race over at Corrigan, which I
Yeah.
think is where they kind of like were founded or started or something like that.
Yeah.
Since 2019. So it's been a little bit since they, got a chance to take on Corrigan.
Mhm.
But I know it's been a couple weeks for them because of different rainouts and all that, and
Yeah.
and that's a traveling group that only has so many dates anyways. And
Right.
but then I've seen other tracks say, "Hey, we're going to reschedule this at the end of the year."
Yeah. And then it also comes in fact where if if you're talking point states and the schedule's out and then you start adding point states, it starts messing with people's
Yeah,
vacations and points
yeah.
racing and stuff like that. So then it gets tricky. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the throttle response question every week is, well, I don't know. I don't have a good answer. But I guess racing isn't it's not always as easy answers as Facebook comment sections might usually make you think. Huh?
Well, and that's where, you know, Drew took quite a beating last week,
Yeah.
at Corrigan. And I talk with Drew almost daily,
Yeah.
you know, about something, and especially as it relates to national compacts and everything. And I can tell you, like, he agonized over it and agonized over it. And at the end of the day, I said, the best way to approach whatever, you know, I don't get a vote in any of his decision making. It's all on him, right? I said, the best way to approach it is, can you put your head on your pillow at night and wake up the next day and not have a regret?
Yeah.
And if you can do that, then you made the right choice. If you put your head on your pillow at night and you're tossing and turning all night and doing all the things, you know, then it might be a decision that maybe you're second guessing on. And I think sometimes it's very easy. Like, let's take tomorrow. Like, we're not going to get too deep into it because,
Yeah.
you know, everybody has the Matt Rudkin weather app, wink, wink, you know, or Facebook, and they follow Michigan Chasers and all these things. And so everybody's a meteorologist because, well, that's what my weather app says.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but think of New Paris a few weeks ago. It rained all around us, not at the track.
Yeah.
And, you know, and they got super lucky because it didn't look very good for a while, but it never, I think it dropped like 1 or 2 drops on us, and that was it. Like, I was thinking like, oh crap, I got to get off the roof.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to get off the roof. So it was fine. Like, beautiful. Like, we had storm clouds. We had you know, like really huge storm clouds. But other than that, it's like, you know, like, you can't always base it on a weather app. So
right. Yeah, and then on that same token, last Friday, the track I was going to canceled the day before because the forecast did look awful, to their credit. And then I think it rained about 4 drops on Friday, and it made everybody feel silly. You know what I mean? So it's I never envy the promoters in that position.
No.
So
you almost would rather the percentage be like 80% guaranteed rather than this like 40, 50, 60.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because it's like it's almost like you're gambling and you're not sure whether you're going to walk away winning or losing. So,
and they're gambling a lot of money when they're gambling with these. So they're gambling more than I'm gambling at the casino. I can promise you that. I feel sick about $20 at the casino, and these promoters have a lot more than that on the line.
Yeah, and that's where I'm not allowed to say how much, you know, Drew has into the show tomorrow, but I can tell you it's more than what most people make in a month. By a lot.
Yeah.
So so just be mindful of that. For any promoter to make that decision, again, you know, they don't want to. So if it happens, you know, there's no need to get on Facebook and say, oh, typical this or typical that, until your savings account is on the line. You just don't understand. So
as I've said on the show before, no promoter wakes up in the morning and goes, oh, I get to cancel on them today.
Oh, no. No, they're definitely not. And I want to make sure that I pick the right thing here. But again, as part of the pit box, this is where we would love for everyone to be involved. Again, you can send us a short video or whatever, you know, questions or something you want us to discuss. You know, if you have a topic that you saw, maybe you saw a really cool thing at the track and you want to know what we think. You know, I kind of borrowed that from some of the SEC shows. I'm not an SEC fan, but I was doom scrolling on Twitter, and I saw a couple segments. I went, oh, that would be pretty cool to do on the show, get more interaction that way. Because sometimes the chat, like even this past Monday, the chat was like lit. So
it was,
so it's, you know, it's how can we get everyone more involved as part of the show, and I would even be willing, if someone has a really good point, to bring them on the show. I'll send people the show, and you can shoot the breeze with us. Again, this is just like Monday. It's a shoot first, aim second. Like we're not scripted. We don't have any scripts here. I just have a bunch of graphics I click and hope I click the right one. So again, that would be part of the pit box. So again, the pit box is where we'll discuss. And then at the same time, this is where hopefully, you know, fans, anyone who watches the show can give us things to talk about too. So it's kind of like Cody Rhodes might say, what do you want to talk about? So, so definitely let us know what you want to talk about. Other than that, I want to make sure it's 7:40. So we are slightly behind on the add to stage. But before we get there, I do want to do the driver spotlight. Again, this is the segment brought to you by Sabrina BB Photography. You can email me, media@toprowracingmedia.com. Any spot, you know, any drivers, you can nominate multiple drivers. Make sure if I don't have a picture, like I don't cover that track. So if it's Kalamazoo, New Paris, probably Corrigan Oil even, like if you're at those tracks, I probably have photos of them. But if I'm not, like I'm not at M40 often enough to have photos of them. And this could be, you know, even a staff member. It doesn't have to be a driver. But I definitely do want to do, you know, a focus on drivers just to give them some kudos. And so our first driver this week, again, the Top Row Racing Media Driver of the Week it's Bo time. Bo Brady at the Galesburg Speedway. He has had quite the season this year at Galesburg. And in 2026, out of the 8 feature starts that he's had, he's placed in the top 10 5 times, and the top 5 4 times, which includes 2 feature wins, which is the last 2 weeks in a row. So again, the first driver of the week from Top Row Racing Media, sponsored by Sabrina Beebe Photography, is Bo Brady, Bo time. And that, I mean, just that street stock, you know.
Yeah.
He was, you know, former front wheel drive racer over at Kalamazoo. His sister Bree races. I call her Bree Mode. So anytime I get to see them, it's Bree Mode and Bo time. So Bo time, Bo Brady is our first driver of the week, sponsored by Sabrina Beebe Photography. So again, send us the nominations. I nominated Bo this time just because, you know, to win 2 in a row, especially in the street stocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Colin Bozel's one of the only ones who's done that himself. We don't get a lot of, you know, back-to-backs like that. So again, congratulations to Bo Brady on his first 2 street stock feature wins. But you can send us nominations. So it's not just Louis or Buju. Like, I'll have Buju pick some people. It's not just us picking. We definitely love your nominations. So send those in. Other than that, are you ready to do the drawing?
Let's do it.
That way, then we have more time to discuss too afterwards, where we can just kind of shoot the breeze for the rest of the show.
Yes, sir.
And of course, do the 60 with 6.
That's right.
Because we didn't last week. I forgot.
That's right.
So,
He got bumped for Bill. He understood.
yeah, that is my fault.
Yeah.
So let me add this to the stage. Let me do full screen on this. All right. Now, I won't be able to see it because I'm going to have to click over to do that because I can't do it here. So if I could have you take a picture of the screen.
Yes, sir. Yep, I'm ready.
So just so everyone knows, so if you signed up for Kalamazoo tickets, the wheel that has the Top Row traditional logo are the family 4-pack tickets. The wheel that has the modern Top Row logo are the adult 2 tickets. So that's the difference between the 2 wheels. Those are some nice wheels, by the way.
They are nice wheels.
Nice wheels, big wheels.
They are. They're not symmetrical.
You're fired. All right. So Melissa, you are the family 4-pack winner for the Kalamazoo Speedway. So, oh wait, I can take a picture too. Why am I making you do it? I didn't think about that.
Yeah. You do have the technology.
I do have the technology, and I can do multiple things at one time. So, so again, that is the winner for the family 4-pack to the Kalamazoo Speedway tomorrow night.
Congratulations, Melissa. Going to be a great show.
Yeah, and wasn't she a part of, I'm trying to remember, I think she was part of the M40 group a few years ago before the Russells took over. I feel like she was a part of that.
Sound right. Yeah.
I feel like she's part of that and has raced herself. I'm going to say that she's raced Hornets, if I remember correctly. So again, I could be wrong. So definitely, if I'm wrong, someone correct me. But and if anyone watching knows her, you can feel free to tag her too, to let her know. Did she get tagged?
No, I said make sure you tag her. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure to tag her if anybody watching knows her or anybody who sees this watching knows her. All right. So now this next one is going to be for the 2 adult tickets. Again, this is to the Kalamazoo Speedway. So let's take a spin.
Robert Stoltz.
So Robert Stoltz, you have 2 adult general admission tickets to the Kalamazoo Speedway tomorrow night. So again, congratulations to Melissa and to Robert for tickets to the Kalamazoo Speedway. So I'll also send those to Drew Jack. That way he has that. I'm going to click stop sharing there. So that should have stopped sharing it. And now we just have random background screen.
I saw Steve Harvey on the wheel there. It's a shame he's not going to make it to Kalamazoo now.
So Betty said street stock or hobby stock for Melissa. I couldn't remember. I know she raced something, and I know I feel like she was helping at M40 in 2023.
The name sounds familiar, and that feels right to me. But
and I feel like she's from New Paris too, like raced at New Paris or did something at New Paris. So I could be way wrong, and if I am, definitely correct me. I won't lose sleep over it, but I feel like the name sounds familiar. So other than that, like I said, we can we'll bring on DJ's thing here, then that'll give us the last 16 minutes or so to just kind of shoot the breeze on what we want to talk about. Because there's a lot of different things to talk about, but that's where I thought, let's make sure we hit these points, because I know storms are supposed to be coming tonight possibly. So I'm like, we don't need to be on air, when it always seems to be that way. Betty said M40 and New Paris. So again, we missed it last week, which is way my fault. I didn't do it. But this is our 60 seconds with 6 with DJ McCotter, and he's in the bus doing his messaging this time.
What's up, race fans? DJ McCotter here. Something that's been on my mind here as of late is that I've heard so much by way of complaining about whenever people go to a track, they see the same results. The same top people are in contention, and to them it's gotten boring. Well, maybe you should try going to another track. Or, if you're really that dissatisfied with it, maybe you should build your own car and get out there and try to run it yourself. Because I'm tired of hearing, I'm not going to that track because it's the same thing over and over. I'm not going to that track because of who runs it, because of who's owns. Ain't nobody got any time for all that. Go to a track that you love, that is full of people that you want to be around, and support it. There's a reason people are calling short track racing a dying sport. Only you can make a difference. This is DJ McCotter, and I'll catch you next time.
All right. So again, our 60 with 6 with DJ McCotter, where most Thursdays, when Louis remembers to do that, we have our 60 seconds with 6. So I thought with our barf and everything that we're doing, that's hopefully getting people to the track and doing that. But you also brought this up on your podcast that you did the other day, debuted yesterday, but I know you recorded it the other day, that you guys brought this up because they asked you that same question. Where do you think short track racing is going? Where do you think all these things? And you kind of brought up that, it's struggling and there's different reasons and multiple factors, right? I mean, I will never say social media is 100% the only reason, because then I think that's a cop out in a way. Yeah. But I also won't say that it's not a factor. Yeah. In the reason. It's like if you bake a cake and you have all these ingredients, right? Social media is an ingredient to that. So with DJ's words, what do you, how do you feel about what he has to say?
I get what he's saying about, I mean, all right, let me reset here. I agree with him. Like, you have going to the racetrack with a negative mindset where it's like, I don't want to be here. I don't like racing for these people. I don't like racing with these cars. Then you got to move on. I mean, if you're not having fun at the racetrack, then either stop going or change something, honestly. Because I feel like if you're not having fun at the races, at some level, it's on you. And if the environment doesn't work for you, then there are other options. And if there's not another realistic option for you, then maybe it's not for you. But if you're bringing a negative energy to the racetrack, then you're spreading that negative energy at the racetrack. Yes. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm always a positive energy at the racetrack, because I don't think anybody is. But if, to DJ's point, if you're in that mode where it's like you feel like you're dragging yourself to this track every week, then let's change it up.
What I think sometimes too, fans, right? Like, you have fans who are super positive and just love being at the track, and they love showing it and everything. But then, for example, on the Corgan Oil figure 8 race, there's a person who complained literally yesterday in the comment section saying, I watched this whole thing and there's not one accident. This was a waste of time. And it's like, so it was a waste of time because nobody crashed.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of near misses, right, and a lot of things. And it's like, so you watch the whole thing and then you felt the need to make a comment complaining because there wasn't a crash.
I really feel like some people just feel like they have to say something sometimes.
If you remember, way back when we were kids, and text messaging was like a new thing, right? Mm-hmm. And you had to pay 25 cents a text message, or if you had like T-Mobile or stuff like that, you had AIM Messenger, and everybody had AOL because everybody in the mail got a disc from AOL Time Warner to here's AOL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put this in your computer and you have dial-up internet and you can do all these things and you can connect. You got mail, right?
Yeah.
And everybody looked forward to the You Got Mail. But it's one of those that you had to pay for a messenger if you used it on like a phone.
Yeah.
And you paid 25 cents and then it was unlimited for that day until like midnight.
Yeah.
Then you had Boost Mobile. That was like really big. And you had to pay for those text messages, or when you had the walkie-talkie part part of it, $1 a day. And
I remember on my track phone, it was 0.3 of a minute for a text.
Yes. And so like you had to, so sometimes I'm like, I know you necessarily can't do it, but I wish sometimes that like you had to pay to share your opinion, because yes, in this country you're allowed to share opinions, but a lot of times you could tell those who got like a D+ in history, because the right to free speech and the First Amendment that everybody loves to quote doesn't just mean unlimited all the things.
Yeah.
There are consequences. Like if I say, something like, man, if I go to a restaurant and I say, that was the best pasta I've ever had in my entire life, a consequence could be, well, would you like to take some home? We love your comment, and why don't you take some home and share with somebody?
Yeah.
I know that doesn't happen, but let's say it did. That's a positive consequence. Like there's a positive. Right. It's still a consequence.
Yeah.
But if I sit there and I say, this is the worst pasta I've ever had in my entire life, and I flip the dinner table over and throw chairs and everything, the consequence of that is I probably am going out in cuffs or bans minimally, right? Like, and property damage and all these things.
Yeah.
So that's something that, again, I just think there are times that I wish that, you go to the news stations, you go to political pages, and even if you don't go to them, you see them and you're like, good Lord, people. Like, there are bigger fish to fry in this whole world, and these are the things that we are upset about and consuming our time with.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, was it really like the new Paris fire truck? 1 million views with that new Paris fire truck the other day. Within a little over 24 hours, 1 million views all over the world. I mean, Australia, UK, United States, Canada, almost 100,000 views in Canada alone. And there are people on there complaining about a fire truck putting water on an asphalt track. Yeah. Some made it funny, like that's probably the cleanest track in the world, and had fun with it, right? Like, but then there are others who always come on, oh, that's a great expense for the taxpayers. New Paris is a taxpayer. Chris and Tracy are a taxpayer within that community. And oh, by the way, they pay for the service too. And the people complaining don't even live in Indiana. You don't even live around here. Who cares? People used to pay for pools to be filled by the fire department. So come on.
When I'm fired up about something, or I see something I don't like on Facebook and I feel the need to comment, when I type my comment out, I ask myself, does this add to the conversation? Is it funny? That's also that also matters. And it's like, well, who are you helping here? What are you adding to the world with? Like Ryan Newman raced in the area this week. I posted a clip of Ryan Newman. Some lady comments, "Oh, the loser, Ryan Newman."
Yeah.
What are you adding?
Yep.
Block button.
Yeah.
Gone.
Absolutely.
I love the block button.
Well, it's kind of funny. I won't say who, but there's someone in the comment section earlier who's anti-Top Row and is against Top Row, but yet is still watching my show. So, I don't know. They were watching it because of you, but still, it's like you came to my platform and you're anti-Top Row. You're lucky I haven't banned you yet for all the things that you've said and the people you've attacked while you've done that. And that person adds zero value to almost anything. So I'm like, I don't know. I didn't kick him from the chat, but I thought, interesting. You're anti-Top Row and you're on my page. Thank you. I appreciate that. But why? Waste of everybody's time, quite honestly. But, and they're lucky they've not been banned. I'm just saying that publicly so they know that they're on my watch list. But right, like, think about that. No reason to add the negative comments, no reason to do those kind of things. But some people live in that and, but they don't go out and do anything themselves. So, it's like, I don't know, sit there and complain, but what have you actually produced or added value?
You just, before you say anything, it's like, am I adding anything to the conversation? Am I going to change anybody's mind with this? Probably not. Is it really worth put that? That's why I stay out of the political game, Lewis. I'm anti-political, if anything, because what is the point?
Well, you see me, I rarely, if ever, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a town next to me that they're trying to disincorporate and shut down and absorb into the township, but then there's all these little things going behind the scenes. I'm like, really?
And I blame the news and the political way we cover politics and everything for the way that people act online anymore. It's broken everybody's brains to the point that nobody knows how to act anymore. But that's going off on another tangent. So,
well, I think you see the cookie cutter responses that everybody comes up with, right? Like no thought of their own.
Yeah.
They
5-car race.
Right. They just duplicate what someone else has said, and don't get me started on that either. But it's like, if you don't enjoy it, or it's this miserable to you, or you want to point out a car count, go build
it's like, what do you think you're at? I've said this every week, I feel like, too, but the promoters know. The promoters see it too. The promoters also want more cars. You're not breaking news to anybody.
Right.
And it's like, you call yourself a race fan and you're dragging the racing, trying to get people to stay away from the racetrack.
Yeah.
What side are you on? It's like you people complain about, well, back when I used to go, we ran until 12:30 in the morning and had e-features. Back when you used to go, why aren't you going anymore? How many other people have the same mindset?
Yep. And we do know, right? Like sometimes people just physically or whatever can't go. Like, yes, we understand those kind of things.
Sure.
But it also, right, like think of a movie. Think of Titanic, right? We all know how long it takes for Jack and Rose to get through that whole thing, and that it takes like 4 hours for the ship to sink and whatever, right? But the attention span now is how many people nowadays could probably sit through a movie like Titanic 25 years later now, I think it is. 4-hour movie in the movie theater, sitting in those seats. I mean, look at baseball. Baseball is trimming things because of time. And NFL, NCAA football, like all these things are realizing like people just don't want to sit out there forever anymore and do these things. And so why are the Savannah Bananas selling out MLB stadiums that even MLB teams are not selling out?
Right.
Well, and I've said this on the show before too. Like, I don't know that I can get my mom to a normal baseball game, although I don't know that I have the attention for a baseball game either. But, I probably couldn't get her to that. But she has Savannah Banana tickets here in about a month that, she was excited for, and she'll sit there and watch the Savannah Bananas.
Oh, yeah, Mom.
But I could tell you they're not watching other baseball games.
Yeah.
I've not seen any baseball game down there except for Savannah Bananas. And that's something that, she's really excited for that and watches that because it's constant, right? There's something constantly going on, something constantly happening that, I just think, it's one of those things that we're just not in an environment anymore where people want to spend. There are people who will, the diehard.
Yeah.
But the diehard fan base is just not as long anymore. And you see this even like in wrestling. WWE does 4 or 5 matches in pay-per-view, more ads than anything. And you got, that kind of deal. But then you have like an AEW where it's like a whole marathon where it starts at noon and it goes until 1 a.m.
Right.
And you're asking for a lot, from people to have that attention span. So, I think, when you say things like that, well, back in my day, yes, it's cool to bring that up and that's okay. But at the same time, does that help today? Because then it doesn't, because you have families who will sit there and go, well, I don't want to be here till 2 a.m. My kids have already been up since 7 or 8 a.m. We had softball all day or soccer all day or baseball all day. And then we came to the track and they're tired and exhausted and, a racer's kid might sit at the track until 2 a.m, no issues. But a normal family who are casual fans, or maybe they love racing, but they don't want to sit at the track forever. I think that's what we need to think of, and what tracks. That's the challenge. And two, when you have weather that's hot like today, well, if I can watch it on TV or go in person, right, I'm probably going to watch it on TV. And we'll have a watch party. Well, now instead of 40 fans going to the racetrack to watch it, 40 or more are watching it at home, and they're missing out on that opportunity. And it might be convenient where now I won't go back. And I'm not saying streaming is ruining anything. Again, it's an ingredient. It's all ingredients. But I just think it's like, again, when you're on social media, you just got to be careful. Like the drift group, don't get me started. I'm not going to run them down, but the drift group is on my last nerve. Yesterday they struck the last nerve, and I was an advocate for the drift group after everything fell through at Kalamazoo and they had to shop around and they didn't have a home. I advocated for them I talked with New Paris Speedway, I talked with other tracks to say, hey, this auto modified group does a really awesome job. Tucker does an awesome job with this group. Why don't you bring him in? But then the drama and the things, they spam Kalamazoo. They spammed Kalamazoo posts all year where Drew Jack can't keep up with them. And then after the night of destruction, they came to my page and spamming everything. And, oh, that's ruining the track. Oh, that's ruining the track. There's so many more factors that went into drifting not being at Kalamazoo. The track surface was just one of those things. There are more, and I'm not going to say them publicly because it's not the platform to do it. But when they get on there and they complain and they complain and they complain and they're putting things down and all that, it's like you're ruining any relationship with Kalamazoo for one. You're making it harder for Tucker to get events at other tracks because other tracks are seeing this. And two, now you're after me, someone who is an advocate for your group and someone who tried to get you events at other tracks. You're getting to a point where I'm not going to advocate for you anymore. And in fact, I'm going to be against you because you're striking my last nerve and I have only so many patience. And I'm one of those grudge holders. Once you're on my bad side, there's no going back. There's zero chance. So I'm like, you're it. You're like red button, hands on the red button right now with that drift group, and they're about to press it, and I'm not going to advocate for them anymore because it's not helping anything.
Yeah, that's just very much outside of my realm, but I feel like there is very much a divide in car culture among the older generation and the newer generation, and it's for a reason. It's because a lot of time the younger generation doesn't know how to act when it comes to car.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw in the news what happened down here in the South Bend area 2 weekends ago, whenever it was, where there's people doing burnouts on the bypass and had it blocked off and shut it down.
I was driving home that night from New Paris, and there were cops all over, and I couldn't figure out why. And they kept flashing at different cars and different things. And then when you saw that, I'm like, when I saw the news, I'm like, okay, that made sense now. Why these cops were following this group of trucks and everything who were just literally pacing next to each other. And it was an unmarked cop. It wasn't even a cop that you could tell was a cop. It was one of those fancy unmarked ones. And but when the blue lights came on, because they passed me on the side. They went around me, and I almost it would have been a stupid, and it would have been my fault, by the way, if it happened. But I almost started to be like, "Oops!"
Yeah, I hear
You're gonna pass me in the pull off lane, like that's not happening. And super tempted, but also would be illegal, so I didn't do it. I have red lights. I
know. I have a blue car that kind of sort of could pass, almost like a Michigan cop car sometimes, and sometimes I wish I could just whoop.
But I had I have all that too. I have all the sound effects and everything. So I almost, just to freak them the hell out, blasted them on, and I didn't because again, I would be the one to get in trouble. So I didn't do that because it would be my fault if something happened, even though they were driving stupid. That's how the laws work around here in this country. Sometimes that is that person's fault. Even I'm like, what? But whatever. But anyways, when I saw that, I'm like, why would you think that you could shut down the bypass that way and that would be safe?
Just to your point about the drift guys or whatever, it's like there's a reason the younger generation has a harder time getting accepted into other parts of car cultures because they gotta behave sometimes. Get cars are fun, we all have fun with cars, but there's a right way to do it and
think of the couple yesterday who climbed the Empire State Building, which by the way, when you're flying helicopters around there, you're giving them everything they want. By the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you're broadcasting it so they know it's all over the news, which means they're going to continue to do it because they're getting the attention they so desperately needed. But then, then they show the whole proposal and everything. I'm like, good God, just turn off the feed. Like, you're giving them what they want.
Yeah. Now they're going to get a reality show deal out of it, and they'll have brand.
But just think with that, right? This is not against all content creators or anything, considering that we're both content creators.
I was about to say, be careful.
But how many times do you see content creators doing things for those viral moments or because they feel like they need to? And it's like, some things are funny, and yeah, you do that, but then there's things like that where, when some people create content because they want to go viral, and so look at the guy who got banned from roller coasters because he was eating a hot dog or whatever on the roller coaster, content creator, and thought it would be cool and fun, which is totally against the rules, like it was a rule, and got banned.
Yeah.
But then you see people defending the behavior, and it's like, this is also why these content creators do that kind of stuff, because then you're defending it.
I think there's very much a notion where I feel like people think anything goes just because it's in the name of content. I don't think that's the case. Like, and I know I have a small audience, and I feel so goofy talking about like, what my philosophy is, but it's like when I post something, I don't ever want to make anybody look bad. It's like, if this makes somebody look bad, I'm not gonna post this.
Right.
I'm just trying to capture, like, through the fan's eye, this is what I see at the races.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do with my stuff.
Well, and even this year, I've been even more mindful than in the past, even though like cautions are a part of a race program, right? Like cautions are part of it.
And what you do is different. You broadcast a race, and wrecks happen in a race, and sometimes a wreck is somebody's fault. Yeah.
I've been super careful, like with the M40 trifecta, with the Gattons and Presslers, right? Because obviously there are people who feel very strongly about both groups, that I didn't post it. I had control. I could have, but I didn't, because I knew how that would go. You just know, right? Like you have a gut feeling how it's going to go, because the Pressler defenders would have defended the Presslers and been after the Gattons. The Gatton defenders would have been after, or anyone who dislikes the Presslers, which they have a long list of, they would have been attacked just because of the name. If I would have just typed Pressler, that would have got all these people, attacking them. And what does that do for either group? So that's why this year too, I've even really cut back on even, like at one track, I'm not allowed to post cautions anyways. That's just the rule, and I follow the rule. Like if I want to be at that track, I got to follow the rule. But even at other tracks, I've kind of gone away from it, where I just post like small little clips. And with, the bigger I get, I've also been mindful of, I don't want to put myself in a spot where someone says, if people can rely on you being here and posting clips throughout the night, and a bunch of them, why do they need to come? And it's kind of getting to that point where I'm like, if I'm thinking that means someone else could be thinking it, right? That's usually how thoughts go. And so I've even been really careful, and there are people who complain about it now, and I'm like, well, think of it from my point of view. Let's say Jim Leisure at Corrigan Oil. He's not done this. He hasn't thought to do it yet that I know of. But let's say Jim Leisure came up to me and he looks at his Sunday stands and says, man, there wasn't a lot of people here. Louis, we love having you here and all that, but we feel like, if you're posting a lot of clips and you're giving away, cookie crumbles, but you're giving away the start, cautions, and the ending.
Yeah, I've had enough taste of this cookie. I don't need to go buy a cookie.
Why do I need to? Why does a fan need to come in person? So that's where I've been really mindful, and I've cut back on posting. And again, I've gotten some flack for it, but it's also, and for those who I explain it to, they understand it, because streamers get blamed all the time for stuff, and I'm not a pro or anti-streamer. I don't stream any racing. I do plenty of my own racing. I don't need to watch racing on TV, and I know personally, I don't have the attention span to watch it on TV. I will be on my phone within seconds. Once it goes green, and if it's a long green, like I know that I need to be in person at the track. I know that about me. Other people can go to the racetrack and watch it on their phone and in person.
I can't do that.
I couldn't do that either, right? I don't even try that. So like, I know me and my viewing habits and how I can consume content. So I need to be in person. I don't even watch. I'll watch Notre Dame games, like football games on TV, but I don't even watch all of it. There are times that I'm still tuning out, doing different things, going to the score bug on ESPN, hoping that an SEC team is losing to any conference possible, right? Like especially Alabama and Georgia, and now Texas A&M after all their fighting and everything and stuff. And Texas Tech is now my new one with the whole Brendan Sorsby thing. Like I just hope it all goes against them. But anyways, just so they eat all the egg on their face that they so deserve right now. But it's one of those things that, like, I'm just kind of rooting for those kind of things to happen. So but I don't have the attention span to watch a whole game. Yeah. But if you go in person, I don't have the attention span for the commercials. I'm like, this is the time I would flip the channel, So you know,
On the-
just
on the
different.
top on the topic of football or ESPN shows or whatever, I think if the racing thing ever gets tiresome on you, I think you could be the reverse Paul Feinbaum for the anti-US or anti-SEC
I
side.
would so sign up for that. I would in a heartbeat because
Yeah.
that man, you know, I know this is a racing.
Ain't nobody got nothing for the Tide, Paul.
He's a moron. How about that? He's a moron. And there
He's a
are
goober for
times
sure.
that like obviously when he dumps on Michigan, I'm all for that, right? Like, yeah, go ahead. Like
Yeah.
I'm for that too, because I think that they're an annoying fan base.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they think Notre Dame's an annoying fan base.
Yeah.
So when he's dunking on Notre Dame, I'm like, hey, wait now. You know,
Yeah.
like, but it's always the SEC stuff. And obviously
Yeah.
he definitely gets on his knees for the SEC. And it's just so exhausting where I'm like, you just don't see any like this.
Yeah.
It might as well just be like this. Like you see how nothing's even open. Like it's so blind.
Ain't never played defense like them dogs, Paul.
Yeah, when you play My Mother Mary of the Blind all the time, I'm sure you could do that, right? Like the toughest conference in the land. There's no way anymore.
Big Ten. Yeah, that's right. This is football country up here, baby. We own it now.
You know, let the SEC come up and play in the snow. How about that? Let's see that. Let's see Alabama actually go up to Lambeau Field in November against a poor Wisconsin team with the blizzard. Let's see how they do.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, I always don't buy that argument though, because in fairness, these teams do have players from all these states. By the way,
I feel like that's very much gone out the window.
But the weather does play a factor. Like, you know, if you play at Notre Dame and you're used to our weather up here, and you go down to Miami and you get all that humid and everything, like it is a different world.
That's why I was shocked when the USC joined the Big Ten that they were actually going to play winter games in the Midwest.
Yeah,
like they
refused to do
like
Notre Dame. Big Ten team anymore. They don't, you know, they're not very exciting like they used to be.
Yeah,
and,
my team's going 3-9 anyway.
Yeah. So. You never know though. Purdue could turn it around, but I mean, if anything, you could always be an IU fan.
Nope, never. Sure won't.
But I know we got on the football tangent, but that's where again, you know, like. Don't have blinders on. Like, don't be a Paul Feinbaum.
Don't be Paul.
Don't be a Paul. Or as Jeremy Wardinger has, don't be a Richard. You know, because again, you know, these tracks need all the help they can get. And, you know, if you don't like that track or don't want to be at that track or don't like that class, if you see the comment on the Dave Simpson win at Kalamazoo a year ago where someone got on there and said, oh, I don't watch these turds. I go to the bathroom at this time until the real race cars come.
There's somebody else that often dogs on the 4 cylinders that I just popped in my head when you said that. And I'll get going on that one too.
I'm like, I don't watch these turds. And a couple people got on them. And, you know, I was waiting for somebody because I said unseated the LC Dynasty because at Kalamazoo to that point, it was Matthew or Matt who was winning. And Matthew gets dumped on a lot by people, you know, because he's good, but he's won at other tracks. It's not just Kalamazoo. He's won at a lot of places. He knows what he's doing behind the wheel. Look at the modified. He got like 3rd or 4th, you know, with his debut at Kalamazoo. Like even in the modified, not a front wheel drive, you know, he did really well, you know, and he's someone that if you think of like DJ's thing who gets dumped on a lot, it's like, you know, I get he's like the New York Yankees for you, or, you know, he's like the Notre Dame, or he's like the New England Patriots when they were good, you know, the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, I get it. It's easy to go against him because he wins all the time, but, you know, maybe you just have to acknowledge that, hey, he's talented. I may not root for him, but he's talented.
Yeah, my brothers had a lot of success at the racetrack down here. Won a lot of races for a lot of years, and it boggles my mind that there's people out there that have real life hate in their heart for my brother because he won races. It's wild to me.
I don't get it whatsoever.
Yeah,
and you know, but again, that's where, you know, to always use Jay Freet's quote, right, when he said this in 2023 to me, you know, we're all in this together alone. You know, because that's why he allows a lot of photographers in Enfield, because otherwise he would be down there by himself, right? So we're all in it together. And I've just kind of converted it to, you know, we all can do our individual parts for the collective whole.
And that's why we should all be pulling in the same direction. We're all doing our own thing, but as long as we're going in that same direction, which is hopefully uphill.
You know, how can you, enhance what everyone else is doing, right?
Yeah,
And so,
exactly.
if you don't like something, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be frustrated, it's okay to feel,
Yeah.
but it's how you publicize it and it's how you handle it. Like sometimes I think someone made this post the other day. You get on Sunday morning on Facebook and you see everyone complaining about the night before.
Hmm.
And then you see some who are like positive and all that, even though like their night went to crap. But like Anthony Duell is someone who I can think of who, generally speaking, is very positive with his
Hmm.
posts, even if things don't go his way. But then you have others who it's just like, man, you're bringing my buzz down,
Yeah.
and
There's this. I mean, this feels corny or cheesy or whatever, but there are absolutely people that just have negative energy around them, and it's
yes,
like, get
yes,
away from me. I don't
yeah,
want this. Like, you're
yeah,
dragging me down. You're dragging other people down. You're ruining everything, bro. Get out of
yep,
here. I used to be one of those people. I used to be a negative Nancy, and getting in a race car and getting in the pits changed my attitude. I'm
yeah,
a very different person than I used to be. I used to be one of those negative people, and believe me, I sucked. I wasn't fun to be around. So maybe question yourself, like,
right,
am I adding anything? Am
right.
I a negative to people? Don't be a negative to people, man. It's not that hard to be generally pretty positive.
Well, and I get, that's where, again, I know people are just stressed in a lot of different ways, and so that's why it's
Yeah, and
easy,
yeah, for sure.
to feel these things. But then at the same time, that's where you just have to think, though, like as we mentioned, is it good for the group? And
Yeah,
that's it, to kind of end it, because I know we've gone a little bit over our time tonight, but that's where it's, if you have solutions, offer solutions. Don't just offer complaints, offer solutions, offer ideas on how to solve something.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, bring a race fan, bring someone new, bring someone to the track, introduce them and see what they think, see it from
yeah.
their point of view. Bring someone, say, hey, what do you think about this? And don't prejudice them.
Hmm.
Don't tell them all these negative things that you think. Let them take it in for themselves. It kind of reminds me of the conversation we had on Monday, and we've talked about it before. The little kid who walked in at the South Bend Auto Show and pointed to the car and said, mommy, that's a real race car. And spoiler for those who haven't heard it yet, he pointed to a Night of Destruction car, not the street stock late model, template late model, outlaw late model, mini stock, and everything else that was surrounding this Night of Destruction car. It was the purple car that kid pointed to, that a promoter at another track was downing on not too long before that. And so it's one of those things that it's like, like you just sometimes have to see it from someone else's eyes, that it
Yeah,
may not be your cup of tea,
yeah,
but and you may think what a race car isn't, but to
yeah.
that little kid, the race car he pointed to was a Night of Destruction car.
Yeah, yeah, you use wrestling as an analogy and wrestling
Yep,
fans and how
yep,
they act online a lot. I used to be a monster wrestling fan. I don't like it anymore. It's not for me. But you don't see me in the comment section. Oh, this is stupid. This
right,
sucks. Why
right,
don't they do this anymore? It's like it's not for me. I don't watch it anymore, so
right.
I don't have anything to say. If I
Yep,
don't like it, I'm not going to watch it.
yep. Well, uh, so you're not very nice. You're very evil. No, I'm kidding.
I get the reference, but I get the from other people making the reference. I
Yep.
get the reference.
But one way that everyone could be very nice, though, is I do want to do one more barf shout out. Again, we gave a lot of tickets away tonight. Not we, Hartford and Kalamazoo gave a lot of tickets away. I only help with that. But I did want to show, not to be selfish, but I did want to show really quick. I'm going to share the store part. I'm going to make sure I go to the right thing here because it's all messed up. All right. Can you see that?
Yep.
So I did make, again, barf t-shirts. They start at $20. I was going to do a front back, and then it was like 30 some dollars. I went, no, thank you, because I probably wouldn't buy it if it were
Yeah.
that. So this
There
is
you go.
normal pricing, but it's, I barf a lot. And if you buy this or a black one or charcoal, I think is what it's called. If you buy one of those for $20, or, if you, go up in size, like let's say you're 5X, then it's 28, that's just standard pricing. If you buy one of those, then you get one of these barf stickers free. Normally $10, but you get it for free and it's automatic. So if I added that to the cart, I'm going to hope it does it like it's supposed to. And and I'm going to click backwards, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click that. Let's say medium, add that to the cart, and I go checkout, which Apple Pay, all those. You see it already down here, automatic. I did not have to do anything to get the
The barf
discount.
package.
The barf package. I should have made it a barf bag.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Louis. That's pretty good.
I'm gonna make it the barf bag. I'm still gonna do that. As soon as we're off here, I would do it now, but then everyone would see my personal information. We're not.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm gonna make the barf bag. Oh, why did I think of that earlier? I'm so stupid. But anyways, $10 automatic discount. So what would be $30? $12 shipping. That's just cover the cost of shipping. But really, then $10 off of that. So once you put in your information in Michigan, just so spoiler alert, in Michigan, I have to collect tax. I don't have a choice. It's legal. But in Indiana, I don't have Nexus. So in Indiana, if you're an Indiana resident, you don't pay any tax because I don't have Nexus in Indiana. So I don't have to in Indiana, and I'm probably not going to make $10,000 in Indiana. So I don't have to do, or $100,000 in Indiana. That would
That's
be
a lot of barf.
That would be a lot of
That's
barf.
a lot of barf.
That's a lot of barfing. So I don't have Nexus in Indiana. So if you're an Indiana resident, no tax. But in
Right.
Michigan, I have no choice. I have to. It's the legal thing.
Like the founding fathers intended, no tax on it in Indiana.
No taxation without barfing. But
That's right.
so if but if you barf, you don't have to pay tax in Indiana. But anyways, it's easy to do. So the discount, you don't have to know code, you don't have to know anything. You just go do it. And I'm going to have special things with me on hand that I'm going to hand out if I start seeing these T-shirts around. So, or if people take pictures of them in the T-shirts, I will have something for them.
Mhm.
And I know there's not a lot of people watching right now, but I know you saw my post yesterday. There's going to be something for the drivers who helped me with this barf campaign. Lane, so far I have two $50 vouchers to All-Star products through Lane Automotive. So All-Star Performance.
Mhm.
So right now I'm at two $50. We're going to see if we can maybe get some more. But I'm going to have different things for the drivers too. More details to come on if they help me with the barf campaign, which could even include a free voucher to my store to buy anything you want. So and if that's not the most exciting thing for them, because I know that's not always exciting. Like I said, I'm working with some other partners right now to get some things lined up. With like Lane Automotive is my first stop right now.
Mhm.
I'm not going to give it all away, but I'm excited to see what that might be. But other than that, I know, and it's getting dark here at home. I don't know if you could tell behind me, but it's starting to get dark. So I'm like, it's coming. So anyways, I know we were past our time, but I hope everyone liked the new graphic package and some of the new names. It still may adjust a little bit, but I thought let's kind of name every segment. Let's name everything just so it kind of stands out to its own.
Mhm.
But other than that, maybe it's almost time to turn left and go fast. And if it's not time to turn left and go fast, I'll definitely be going down and hopefully watching things crash. Because
we'll see you at the races. And happy birthday, America. 250th.
Happy, yeah. Well, don't forget the Tom Hanks special you mentioned. I know that I'm so ruined for ending.
Mhm. No, that's all right. We'll do it. We'll roll it back.
Yeah, we'll roll back. We'll do Jey Uso. We'll wind it back. But if you haven't watched that yet on Amazon Prime, or no, on Hulu, go for it. It's on Hulu for free.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very apolitical. To hell with all of them as far as I'm concerned, but I am very patriotic. I love my country. And the 4th of July always gets me fired up. I love America, man.
They have that, so that's World War II, and then, of course, with the History Channel, they have a whole bunch on Hulu right now. So if you've never watched the Lincoln special, the George Washington special, which for anyone who thinks Washington D.C. should be a state, watch that. Because it's not supposed to be. In fact, if it's ever not the federal chair, it's supposed to go back. That land goes back to the states that it belonged to originally. So, sidebar for those who think Washington.
There you go. History lesson.
History lesson. Never supposed to be. That's why it's its own district. But anyways, sidebar. That's another thing that irritates me. It's like you don't watch history, obviously. George Washington never did that. But anyways, or the Grant, or no, it's FDR. It's like 3-4 episodes for each of those. It's they're characters. So you have historians that will like tell the story, but then you have characters who like play it out. And my mom's not like super huge into history, but she loved all of those. And then
Yeah.
of course the Food That Built America, Friends,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Your
I just started
nerd.
Ken Burns Baseball, which is very good so
Oh
far.
yeah. So yeah, if you're a history nerd, that's all free to watch on Hulu right now or on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You can see all those. Again, I would highly recommend the Lincoln one.
Mhm.
And then and then there's even one, I forget who the actor is, but it's a Lincoln movie that talks about like how they got the amendment passed
Mhm.
for freeing the slaves and all that
Yeah.
kind of deal. So and how that came to be with war powers and all this stuff. So it's pretty
Right.
cool. They do a really nice job at History Channel when they're not doing things like Fortune Fire and all that, and they actually do history shows. They do, you know, really nice job with those. So check those out.
Yeah.
If you're into history stuff. But I know that was a sidebar, but I
Yeah.
know I'm a history geek and I know you
Oh,
are
yeah.
too.
Me too.
So now it's almost time to turn left and go fast because
We'll see you at the races.
see everybody at the race.